I started this conversation to maybe remind myself and other women how we are intuitively guided in our path, in our journey in life. We are here to have beautiful experiences, and how we have this innate wisdom, this guidance in our path to go toward the journey that we came here from, because sometimes we can be distracted by other things that we're not supposed to be doing, or we are all supposed to be doing all of them, experiencing all of them, but sometimes we get distracted and forget that we are here for a cause, a purpose. So I want to remind myself and other women that nourishing begins from within, when we tap into this intuitive guidance and be led with this innate wisdom, this intuitive guidance, rather than always trusting other people to give us. What am I supposed to do? They give us the answer. What am I supposed to eat? They give us the answer. When are we going to start trusting our own innate wisdom? When are we going to begin listening to our own inner voice and not constantly ask opinion of others? It's good to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help, but help is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about trusting that we have the ability to make decisions, not always asking, what food should I be eating? What workout should I be doing? How much should I be eating? How much should I be not eating? What food is right or wrong? But tap into this wisdom within you and knowing from deep here, what exercise should I be doing? What habits do I love and feel nourished by? What type of food that I like and my body need? We all have it as women and men, but we're talking about this community of women. So we all have this innate wisdom. And even for me, before I started doing this work, before I went to study nutritional science, I was guided into this field of work. I was always passionate. I remember as a child, I was always passionate about natural living, holistic living. I was drawn into wellness, spirituality. It was always part of me. It's not a coincidence. 40 years, 30 years later, I went on to study this and started working with people. But even before I started working, or before I started studying nutritional science, I was always doing the work to nourish me. I was always drawn into spirituality, into exercise, into wellness, one form or another. Maybe the way I was brought up, maybe, okay, let's see. Maybe the way I was brought up, maybe what my parents used to do, but this is who I was. So when I had my babies, when I had my babies, I was really, really unwell. But what was happening for me during the time that I felt unwell is I had forgotten how to nourish me. I was always distracted into minding other people, doing things for other people, and I had forgotten my own wellness. And I felt very, very sick. I felt very unwell. I would have few migraine attacks per week. I wasn't able to care for my children. I wasn't able to care for my home, and my health took a turn. However, when I realized what was going on with me, I started doing the work and I started nourishing me again. So I didn't wait for someone to tell me, or somehow I didn't wait for someone to come and prompt me. I had this innate wisdom that something was off with your diet. You've changed into this. You used to eat something else. Now you are eating more ultra processed food. There was something in me stirring that this is what was happening for me. And I started doing a little bit of work. I was a new mom. I had few babies, so it was hard for me, but I tried my best to do the work. As time went by, something else started. Okay, I'm sleeping very late. I am a mom with young babies. It is not going to help me to go to bed. same as my husband. He loves watching TV at night. I couldn't watch TV till late night. I loved it, but I wasn't doing well by not sleeping. So this innate wisdom, this intuitive guidance kept guiding me to support my health in a way or so. So what I want to say is we all have this beautiful guidance. We all have it. We have somehow forgotten how to pay attention because life is so freaking busy, so noisy that in midst of this noise, we have forgotten to hear our inner voice. So this conversation that I started with ladies now, last week was week 1. We spoke with Nadine. Today, hopefully we will be able to speak with Aideen. It seems like it's not working, but if it does, then it would be nice to have a conversation. And I would like to bring more and more women every Tuesday morning to find out how they were intuitively guided. Speak about how they were intuitively guided to begin their nourishing path journey. So if it is okay with you to share with us before you even started, because right now you're doing your business, you are a yogini, you're well settled into helping other women to begin their movement journey and so on. But what was happening for you? How were you intuitively guided whenever it was happening? How was it for you?
I guess, well, I'm teaching yoga almost 20 years now, Mira. So it's a long time.
Yes.
And before that, I had been practicing yoga for about 10 years. So, yeah, it's a long time. I'm trying to think back to, yeah, my children were small. My little boy was just about 1.5 years old. And I guess I had small children. I had moved back from Australia to Ireland, and yeah, it was huge changes in my life, from being, traveling and being away from home and studying and working, to being back in Ireland, back home, and being married with small children, so, and in a full-time job at the time. So I guess I had practiced yoga, and I had always felt that it made me feel better, and I wasn't even sure why. So something, yeah, kept, I wanted to learn more, I guess, why it made me feel better. And my background is science, and I have that, that questioning kind of mind to really keep asking, I don't understand why this makes me feel better. And like, it didn't always make me feel better. Sometimes it challenged me as well. And I guess I wanted to understand more about that, and to maybe, I didn't think about teaching at the time. I just wanted to find out more. So that was where it started for me anyway. And I guess the longer I suppose when I first started, it's like everything, you know more, you learn all the time. And I sometimes feel that the more I learn, the less I know.
Yes, yes, I hear you. I so hear you. So you've been doing yoga 30 years, and were you in Australia then?
A couple of places. My first yoga class was when I was a student. I was a student in London, and I, the way when you start college, there's all these different student union, like groups that you join, and one was a yoga group, and I went to my first yoga class in London. I was in my early 20s, and I loved the movement part of it, but I detested the stillness part of it. I I really didn't like it. And I think it's because that's the part that challenged me, the stillness.
Okay, the stillness.
Yeah. Because I was lying down there at the end, and I was just like, I did not want to be there.
Yeah. So when you went for your first yoga class, I know maybe it wasn't, maybe it was something very new, but where automatically, where was the expression that, yeah, okay, this is what I want to continue doing. I want to continue feeling this way. And how were you aware of this? What this is what was happening? Were you aware that you were being guided, or this is a life path for you? Were you aware of this guidance at that time?
No, not at all. Not at
No.
all.
Yeah.
Not at all. But I kept going back for more, and I say that I was practicing for 10 years, and there was, like, I always loved movement and moving, but I I have that kind of energy, that kind of busy energy. I like to be busy. So that stillness challenged me, and I wasn't sure why it challenged me. I wasn't sure. I found it hard to be still. And I think, like, I know now, but I certainly didn't know then. I know, because, when you're still, then that's when the busyness in your head begins. That's when you feel more. And if you keep running away from that, you'll never feel anything, really.
Yes. Yes. What you resist will persist.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. So you are aware now that somehow you were being guided into doing it?
Yeah, I just kept being drawn back to it, really. And I take a little, and try something else, or, I'd do something else. And I was one of those, when I was one of those people who just couldn't resist a challenge, or, jumping out and doing a bungee jump, you name it. I, loved that, so I, bouncing around, doing different things. And I kept coming back to it, even though, I wasn't sure why. I kept coming back to and and trying different types of yoga, trying, vinyasa, or, Bikram yoga, and it was the slowing down that did most, but is what I needed most, I would say.
Yeah, as they say, your pain becomes your medicine. Not that it was a pain for you, it was just like a restlessness, but it became your medicine today.
Yeah. But I guess, like, people take all forms. There's all forms of distraction we take to get away from what we're feeling, whether that is, a drink, smoke, whatever. Doing things, the busyness, the distraction, music, noise, whatever it is, whatever your choice is. But at the end, we are, if we cannot sit with ourselves in silence, then how on earth can we know what's happening inside? Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. I'm completely with you in this. I'd be similar. I'll have kind of hyper energy around me, so much going on. I started about 15 years ago, and when someone introduced me, it was my CBT therapist, introduced me into mindfulness, and I absolutely loved it. It's like I found me again through the mindfulness, connecting to my own body and places that I haven't gone to visit, what was holding me back. And absolutely, stillness is like not easy, but I absolutely love it now. And I realized more I spend time with me, more I become still, more I become me. It's like more I find out who I am actually. And so it's been a beautiful practice for me as well. I'm glad to hear that you have kind of a similar experience.
And yeah, and it's not easy, and it's like, it is a practice. It's not a practice. You get better at it the more you do it.
Yes.
But you have days where you cannot settle. There are days like that, of course, and yeah, and I find that movement helps. Maybe I find that if I move before I try and be still. That definitely helps.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
and then there's that beautiful practice of yin yoga, which, and I have to, mention a wonderful teacher, if there are any yoga teachers or people who want to do, there's a wonderful teacher, Grace Tempany, who I had done a yin training before, but I did 100 hours with Grace, and um, she is one of the most brilliant teachers I think I've ever had. Yeah, I'll give a heads up to, and and just to ask the right questions. I think Grace would have guided me in that. It's not that, I think I was probably doing the movements and my yoga, was the yoga I was teaching was fine, but sometimes you need somebody else to help you ask the right
Yeah.
questions. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. I was just before, I think before you join in, I'm not sure. I was saying it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take help, accept help, but it's also knowing that you need help. It's like admitting somehow that I do need help in this area. But it begins, I think, when we become aware of the help that we may need.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like what I have been seeing, what I have been seeing in women, and I have been the same perhaps for a long time, that we go and ask other people's opinion of what we should be doing in life. And I'm sick of hearing it in the diet field. What diet is best for me. It's like we have given our power away, and we're constantly seeking this validation, this which one is right for me, what nutrients should I be taking, what supplements should I be taking, all of it. But we have forgotten that this answer should come first from here, from us.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing that, okay, I might not be able to get there on my own, wherever there is, and then I might need help. So as yoga is so beautiful, it's like, I love it. And it connects us to our body so much more. So rather than being all over the place, it connects us with the breath and the body. And we are here, we are present. It's such a beautiful practice to have if you're into movement and yoga. And what also happens is you just become more aware when you're taking the breath. You're just becoming more aware of how your body is moving in this slow movement, in this stillness. Sometimes it's fast as well. But if we have, I know you don't have too much time, Aideen. If we have any listeners right now, can you share with us, with me, with them, day-to-day life when we start our yoga practice, maybe at home or maybe somewhere that they can meet you, wherever you are available. How can this bring them to their body a bit more? How would this practice help them connect to their senses and their body?
I suppose functional yoga teaches not around, placement of your, so, like I suppose, when you go to a yoga class, you'd say extend your arms out, for example. So yeah, that is part of, a yoga class that I would teach. But I suppose you would focus on target areas. So you'd say lift your arm and feel, notice how it feels under your arm. So teach to target areas, to feeling. So you start with physical sensation. So how your body feels, how your leg feels, how that part of your body feels when you lift your arm or move your leg. And then that kind of brings you, the more you do that, the more you feel into your body, and then you can notice not just physical sensations, but what's happening in your thoughts, what's happening in your emotional sensations. How does that make you feel? Like, we're we don't like to feel uncomfortable positions, uncomfortable sensations like shame or guilt or vulnerability. So if you start at the physical level, then that can bring you a little bit deeper into your body. And I like that, I've people come into my class that when they first started coming to their class, they go, I had no idea that I wasn't in my body. I had no idea that I couldn't feel my body. I go to schools and you say, lift your right arm, lift your left arm. And kids, like, they're looking at their hands.
Yeah.
You don't know their left, right. They're not in their bodies.
Yes.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly, that's most of the time for a lot of us. So I think if you get a little bit more into your physical body, then that is like a ripple effect for all of you, for your mind, for your emotions, for your soul, for all parts of you. And it's just a good place to start. It's not the only place to start, but it is one place to start, or your breath, or so to be present to, yoga is just awareness. That's all it is. It's just awareness. It's nothing. You don't need, all this bull, that you need a fancy mat, that you need fancy clothes, that you need to spend €100 on that. It's rubbish. You really don't. You can turn up in your pajamas. I don't care. I really, and just experience yourself, without. I don't really use music very much. I don't. I'm not saying that that's not a nice thing to do. Like, I love yoga class, but personally, there's enough of distractions, and
Yes.
heads are full of stuff. We're constantly surrounded by distractions. Try and keep it simple, so that the simpler it is, the more room there is for you in the practice.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I so love it. I am glad I'm having this conversation with you, because I have been thinking about it so much. It's like commercializing everything that is, even in wellness, we commercialize every single thing. So even a yoga practice, like, it's become so much noise, and it's about the yoga pants, and it's about the bottle, all of it. But I am so happy that I'm having this conversation with you, and you're bringing to awareness that it's not about all of it. It's about actually the practice. When you are in stillness, you are connecting with your breath, and being aware of the practice rather than the noise around us. Wow. I'm so happy. I'm so glad I'm having this conversation with you. And
it's lovely to see the work you do, Mira, and even from a yoga practice to feel your body, instinctively, what to eat then, what's good, and all the wonderful information that you share. And actually thinking of you, because at this time of the year, I start craving kimchi, and I just made 5 kilos of it over there on the windowsill.
Oh my gosh, 5 kilos!
Yeah, my son came home from college, and he just came into the house, and he was like, "Oh, the stink in the house."
5 kilos.
Well, when I do it, so I just do, when I do it, I do it once, and that does me for months. Then
Yes, fair play to you, though. But see, I went into this area of work to resolve my own health issues, because I wanted to know, same as you. I was doing the work before I went to study. And so when I started doing the work in me, I found results. Like, I was seeing, my gosh, this is working. My energy is improving. I'm able to sleep a little bit more. My mood is better. I'm not screaming and shouting all the time. So I felt better. And then there was a curiosity in me doing the work. But when I went into studying it, I was so much into it. Like, I wanted to know the part of the body and all that. But with this came the diet, like, this diet is good for this person, this diet is good for, and this area was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to know at all. my mind doesn't go this way. It's like you need to know how much your cholesterol is, how much your cortisol is. It's like my brain doesn't go with those line of thoughts. Whereas if I have someone in my practice as a client, I would ask them, if you didn't see the blood sample, if the GP didn't tell you this and that, how do you feel?
Yeah.
And I felt like an imposter when I would guide them in the coaching. And if I don't tell you what to eat, what do you feel like eating? And then see how we can use this a little bit more and so much more. But truly, if we were not diagnosed, if no one told us about our blood sample, how do we feel? How is our mood? How is our sleep? How are we walking comfortably with ease? How is the breath? This this is what I want to express more in my practice. So I felt like an imposter doing so within my practice. But I think years doing, and I said, no, I can bring my own essence to what I've learned. It's not like A, B, C, D, and use a formula to improve anyone's health. Who am I to improve anyone's health? Rather, I can just help them connect with their body and feel a little bit more. Then they have this power to move from that space.
Yeah.
It's like so much lighter when they have the power rather than someone else, like a coach or a therapist. It's like always depending on them to every week to see someone. It's like I felt like it's so much lighter when someone knows activated to go and do the work.
Yeah, and it's around, I suppose, trusting your own body, trusting yourself, and
Yeah.
say to, I know Nadine said it last week, the little, what did she call them? Little
Nudge.
niggles, was it?
Yeah.
Nudge.
Nudge. Yeah. Little
Yeah.
niggles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, to listen to that, intuition that, is within us, but like we ignore it. Yeah, we do.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
and like, same as you, Mia. Who am I to, to like, I'm just a guide to guide people. I'm
Yeah.
just guiding. I,
Yeah.
constantly learning myself, and I'm not, in any way, shape, or form, a perfect person, or then in any way, like if I'd
Yeah.
be a head case if I didn't practice yoga. So, so yeah, it's lovely to have, all of these wonderful women around that, you know, can give so much,
Yes.
so that we can come back to ourselves in the best possible way, and it takes, but I wish I knew, like I'm always saying, I see my daughter, I think she joined earlier, so she's like, it's lovely. I wished I knew, this, I wish this information was around when I was younger, all of this information.
Yeah.
And it's so wonderful that now younger people have all of this, to this information. You just pick up the phone, you can get this information, you can connect with wonderful people all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's, a gift, and much as I hate, well, hate is maybe too strong a word. I'm not comfortable with this. And like, this is my first Instagram live, Mira, and
Oh, okay.
totally out of my comfort zone. Like I, when you asked, I thought I thought it's lovely the work you're doing, and you had asked, and I said, which if I don't say yes straight away, I'll say no. So, so it totally out of my comfort zone. And yeah, this morning I woke up and I thought, oh no, what is this? So, but you're great at, making people feel comfortable, and, it doesn't feel so bad after all. It feels like a little chat. And I can see you, and it's lovely to see you. So I'm sure it's a little bit more where we're at.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I can't actually see you, but we are having a conversation regardless over this little phone screen. But no, thank you. Do you know what I heard? I would have been thinking about social media and the use of social media, not very holistic. I love it, but I don't love it at the same time. But then I heard someone say this and I felt like, yes, absolutely. This is my purpose. This is my reason. I heard like, see the learning that we've gone through or the medicine maybe we have a little bit. It's like it would be absolutely selfish to keep it for me, to keep this information for me. If it is accessible, no, if it is, yeah, accessible, then why not make it accessible? Do you know, like there's so many women spending their time on social media out of boredom, reason to connect or find a solution. And if we may have in our own way, not perfect, but we're still doing the work in a way or so, have the mean to share this information, then why would I keep it for myself? So I thank you so much for sharing your medicine today with us. I have to come and see you in your practice because I really, really love it. Will you share with the viewers today, where is your practice? Where do you see people? Do you take one-on-one or group?
Yeah, I do. I'm all over the place, Mira. I don't have a studio. For 20 years, I've been traveling around with my mats in the car. I go to loads of little parishes. I've been as far afield, Belmullet. I've been, but I have a regular class in Ballina Arts Centre. I have a regular class in Bala in the community centre. I'm over in Crossmolina, and I'm in schools. I work in an addiction centre every week. I one-to-ones with Western Care. I've worked with all sorts of groups, carers groups. So I love that it's for everyone. It really is for everyone. I've worked with people that can't get out of their chairs, chair yoga. So it really is for every age, for every ability, and you don't need the fancy leggings or the mat or expensive this or expensive that. You just need your body and a breath.
I love you for this. I love you for this. We don't need the fancy. We just need the body. I love you for this message. Thank you so much, Aideen, for taking the time and having this conversation with me. And I'm sure whoever's watching, listening back, please go and share some of your love with Aideen on her page. Share it with your friends around Ballina and wherever she's doing her practice, so people can also experience this beautiful medicine Aideen is sharing with the world. And if you resonate with this message, share this video with your friends, with your girlfriends, your mother-in-law, whoever you think would resonate with this message. Share it and let us all come back to our body, our energy back to our body, rather than having it scattered all over the place. And remember that you have this intuitive guidance within you. If you just slow down a little bit during the yoga practice, and you might hear the voice, the inner voice, in a kinder and softer way, a little bit more. And this is why I have started this conversation with women who are actually doing it. We have the children, we have the house, we have the bills, we have the cold, the heat, we have all of these challenges equally. We are not superior because we're talking on social media over a little phone. We are no superior. We are same as you, or similar challenges perhaps with you. But we want to share this message with you that there is a place for you to connect. There is a way that you can connect with your body and trust this body for what it's doing today. Like we didn't have to remind the body to wake up this morning or to blink or to even go to the loo or to remind us when we are hungry or thirsty or when we have a little cut in the hand. The body knows how to heal, to restore, to repair. So trusting this body again and connecting to your body again is what I want to do. I want to bring this information again with as many women as we can. So share this information and don't forget to go and give your love to Aideen on her Instagram page and go and sign up for her yoga practice. I'm sure you're going to love it. And Aideen, I just I just had an idea. We need to do I don't know what's called, a mini retreat, something together.
Lovely.
Isn't it would be good? A group.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Yeah, we'll have a chat. It's lovely.
Yeah,
And I suppose this is how you, like, although I complain about Instagram, this is how you make connections. So I know we haven't met in person except briefly. I remember bumping into you in a shop
inshallah.
in Charles, and I recognized you from your Instagram. So it's lovely to meet. You know, in quiet places. You know, it's lovely to meet new friends and new people. Yeah.
Beautiful. We'll have a coffee. We'll grab a coffee maybe sometime. So I thank you again, and thank you all of you for taking the time to watch us and listen to us speak about whatever we are speaking about today, and share it with your friends and family. I'll speak to you next Tuesday morning at 10:30 with another beautiful lady talking about nourishment from within.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
All this. Thanks a million. Bye.
Bye.